Imagine a warm, peaceful summer evening in Northern California during the mid-1970s, where families sleep with their windows cracked open to catch the breeze, feeling completely safe in their quiet, middle-class neighborhoods. Suddenly, a terrifying scratching sound breaks the silence of the master bedroom, and a blinding beam of a flashlight cuts through the pitch-black darkness. Standing at the foot of the bed is a masked silhouette holding a gun. For over a decade, an invisible, highly calculated predator unleashed a wave of absolute psychological terror that systematically paralyzed the entire state of California. He didn't just break into homes to commit crimes, he stalked his victims for weeks, learning their daily schedules, memorizing the floor plans of their houses, and even slipping inside during the day to unlock windows and hide the family's ammunition. The media and law enforcement were utterly baffled, as the perpetrator moved across different counties, earning various terrifying names over the decades: the East Area Rapist, the Original Night Stalker, and the Visalia Ransacker. The world would eventually unify these titles under one chilling name: the Golden State Killer. For over 40 years, this monster baffled the FBI, leaving behind a cold trail of shattered lives and a terrifying question mark that seemed destined to remain unsolved forever. The horror of the Golden State Killer was defined by his extreme sadism and an unprecedented level of control over his victims. Between 1974 and 1986, he was responsible for at least 13 brutal murders, more than 50 and over 120 burglaries. His signature, terrifying method involved breaking into homes past midnight, tying up the husband, and placing a stack of heavy porcelain dishes on the man's back, coldly warning that if he heard the dishes rattle or break, he would execute the entire family. He would then spend hours raiding the refrigerator, drinking beer, and terrorizing the home before vanishing into the night without a single witness seeing his face. After his final murder in 1986, the killer went completely silent, but his psychological torture continued as he made heavy, breathing phone calls to his surviving victims years later, whispering, "I'm going to kill you." Despite a massive wealth of crime scene DNA preserved by forward-thinking forensic scientists, the traditional criminal databases yielded zero matches for decades, and the investigation became one of the coldest, most frustrating cases in American history. The breakthrough that completely revolutionized global criminal forensics finally arrived in April 2018. Renowned investigator Paul Holes and a team of genetic genealogists decided to upload the killer's old DNA profile to GEDmatch, a public open-source ancestry website. By meticulously building a massive, intricate family tree from distant third and fourth cousins who had used the site, investigators narrowed the tree down to a single branch, and finally, to one specific man, 72-year-old Joseph James D'Angelo. To the absolute shock of the community, D'Angelo was a grandfather, a military veteran, and most terrifyingly, a former police officer who had worn a badge during the exact years his crime spree began. On April 24, 2018, plainclothes detectives swarmed his suburban driveway, collecting surreptitious DNA from his car door handle to confirm the perfect match before taking him into custody. In August 2020, facing a courtroom packed with aging survivors who bravely confronted him, D'Angelo pled guilty to his decades of terror. Sentenced to multiple consecutive life terms, without the possibility of parole, he was locked away forever, proving that even a 40-year head start couldn't protect a monster from the modern reach of forensics.